My name is Kimberly Craig. I'm honored to be the mayor here in Salinas, and today we are celebrating 14 years of service from Steve McShane. He's been an incredible council member, a huge community advocate, and it's a well-deserved retirement for him. So please join us and check out the video. I will tell you, he started his time here in Salinas with enthusiasm, with excitement, with a genuine love for Salinas, and it has not stopped. I have always said that if you need somebody to work on economic development incentives, to work on with developers, whatnot, that's my area of expertise. If you need 1,500 people in downtown on Saturday, that is Steve McShane's, right? I mean, I'm getting a whole lot of nods in the audience. He knows how to organize, he knows how to create community. It's been just a remarkable journey. I, at one point, said to him out of love and exasperation, "You're the big brother I never asked for but always wanted." We have a proclamation that shares all of the things that Steve has done for Salinas, all of the boards that he sat on. But I also want to talk about some of the random things that came out of nowhere that he absolutely advocated for. Salinas United was the precursor to a more Salinas. It was to get community members engaged and involved. We opened up the fire stations and allowed people greater transparency to what we were doing and asked people to give back to their community. Salinas Valley Food and Wine, Steve McShane's idea. In fact, I remember him telling me, like, we're gonna do it, it's gonna be like Pebble Beach. And I was like, what in the world are you really? There was lettuce bowling the first year, I do recall that. But I would just acknowledge, like, the amount of energy and creativity and love that he has given to us. He also started the holiday home lighting tour, and he was like, yeah, we'll get PG&E to offset the cost because we're gonna go around and look at all the Christmas holiday lights in the community. We had upwards of 150 people on that, and loads of applicants coming in, right? Things that just you want in a city council member. Somebody who is dedicated to trying to communicate to your fellow council members. Somebody who's giving extra time on top of a full-time job to give back to the community. The city residents watched Steve grow into his role here in the city, but also grow into his life. The residents watched Steve fall in love and get married to Danielle, with an entire Salinas-themed wedding, I might add. The engagement party was at the Powell Building. They got married at the Steinbeck Center. The community watched him have a son, Patrick, and then a daughter, Molly. And we watched, yes. Dad, Tom, came to every single swearing-in ceremony. Tom lives up in Sunnyvale, right?
Cupertino.
Cupertino, my bad, sorry. Cupertino. The family dedication to our city is immeasurable. Steve's focus on public safety over the years, the advocacy for police and fire, for the tax measures to help support those causes, to ensure that we have enough police and firefighters to adequately cover the city. Because I know I want a police officer or firefighter to show up if I call 911. Economic development, huge advocate. Started his own Ag Tech Summit. Like, not this Salinas Forbes Ag Tech Summit. He started his own with Hartnell College to make sure that Salinas keeps its eye on the ball. He's been a huge advocate for housing in our community and homelessness. And personally, he's been an incredible friend and an ally. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for your ongoing commitment. And I know that you're stepping away from the dais, but I know you're not stepping away from this community. And I want to say thank you.
Today, the Monterey County Board of Supervisors acknowledged Steve's
dedication to the City of Salinas and approve this resolution unanimously. So congratulations, Steve, and we wish you the best in your retirement.
As with everyone else, yes, the Congresswoman is back in DC and unfortunately could not be here. So I just wanted to say to Steve, she sends this message and it's heartfelt. She says, Steve, thank you for your service to your constituents of District 3 and the community. Your service has been impactful. Your leadership role in implementing the Downtown Vibrancy Plan will be a legacy that will continue to serve the community. You leave behind a legacy of public service that will continue to inspire current, future generations of leaders to serve with honor and distinction. And on behalf of Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren, I am honored to present you a congressional resolution for your 14 years of service to your community. Thank you.
But no, I know the Assembly member, the Speaker, would have loved to be here because, you know, one thing he talked about often was you both entered local government service back in 2010. You know, and one of the hard things about local government service is, one, clearly it does not age you well. Rarely do you get to serve many years and look the better afterwards. It's a hard job. You know, it's a hard job, you know, for anybody who's done it, you know. But if there's one thing you can say about Steve is his smile has never wavered in the many years of service. And that says a lot about Steve's commitment to the job. Is though it may be difficult, though it may be hard, though you may experience countless hours of folks coming to this very podium, me included, sometimes, here to heckle you. It says a lot that throughout that, Steve was always accessible. Steve was always smiling, and he never hesitated to share what was going on. Because that's a good point that was brought up earlier. For all the things that sometimes happen in local government, it can be difficult to get across what's happening. You know, we don't have as much access to information as we did in the past. So having somebody who would throw community meetings throughout the district, not just in some parts of the district, but throughout the district is key to talk about how you can improve parks, how you can get speed bumps in your neighborhood, just to throw a celebration because it's Tuesday. You know, those were things Steve was always good for, and they certainly were never easy. It takes hard work, it takes commitment, it takes time away from family. You know, and so it just certainly demonstrates why Steve was so appreciated and why this room is filled today. And I know on behalf of the Senator, on behalf of the Speaker, you know, they appreciate all that you've done over the years, you know, whether it was CCE, public arts, or just being able to smile and talking about some of these. So on behalf of everybody, Steve, thank you.
As I listen to your words about God, family, your parents, your in-laws, your children, I left inspired that morning because I did go with that intention. Could you please stay on until November? And you said, you know what, Tony, I'm done, I'm moving on, and I think you're doing the right choice to take care of yourself. I think I appreciated about you for many years, and you and I believe, have had a sincere friendship. I told people this guy could be at 6 places at once. But you know what? There was times when you were going through the valley of a lot of problems. But you were inspired by your faith. You said, God will take care of me. So, by the look of this building, you have a lot of good friends. And I want to thank you for being an inspiration to me. Yeah, why don't you go with the hug?
Tony. So I'm here to say thank you for being one of those public servants that you definitely try to mirror. The type of community engagement that you've been able to offer throughout the years. I mean, I've gone over to the house at least twice for some of the events that you've had over your house. And I think that the mayor even told me, she goes, you know what, Orlando? She goes, you kind of remind me of Steve back in the day. And especially when it came to Christmas in Gloucester Park, you know, and seeing that, how kind of we started year one, but thinking about things like the Salinas Valley Food and Wine Festival, things like that, but just your passion to serve, I think is something that that we're all going to be able to look to and try to mirror. I don't know how close I will get because, I mean, anytime I've ever called you, you answer the phone. If you can't call me, you'll text me. If you don't text me, you'll email me. But you're just, I try to be kind of like you, and like Tony said, you're like at 6 places in one day. Don't know how you do it. I can only hit about 3 in a day. But just wanted to say thank you because the years that you've served this city, I know that it's in a better place because of some of the things you've been able to work out. So thank you for all of those years.
Director of the Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments, also known as AMBAG. And I have served in that position for 12 years, and all 12 years Steve has been on my board, and he was on my board before I got there. And I can't tell you how important it's been to have him as a board member and for multiple years as my chair, including some of the most difficult years that we've had at the agency, through some of the most controversial and contentious times. And I can only tell you it's so important to have a leader who is always willing to work for collaboration, always wanting to listen to each and every person, whether it's a board member, or a community member, or an advocacy group, to really make sure the decisions we make in the public are the best decisions for the group as a whole. And I am really sad as I look forward to a board at AMBAG that does not have Steve any longer on them. But I really wish him the best because I know this is a good decision for him, and the best decision for him is the best decision for us. Thank you, Steve.
I'm really happy to be here for Steve today. He is an awesome human being. He has been on our board for over a decade. He holds the record for the most number of years consecutively being a board chair. And the standing joke in our office about Steve is, whenever he's on, I want to get me some. Because, as you've heard, I mean, some things will explain the energy, right? But nothing explains the positivity, the professionalism, the willingness to collaborate and work with others. He doesn't ever speak ill of anybody. He really wants to get to the heart of the problem and find a solution. And he's done that time and time again for the Air District. And you all should know about that because he represented you very well on the Air District's board. And he will be missed. I wish him all the best in his future endeavors. And he's left a hole that's been filled by another city council member that has really stepped up as well. But you will be missed, Steve, and it's been a pleasure working for you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll keep it brief. I've worked with Steve now for a very long time. I've had the pleasure of working with Steve as a sergeant, as a commander, as an assistant chief, and now as acting chief of police here in Salinas. He's always been a tremendous ally for the police department and for law enforcement in general. We have a great relationship with all the council members, but Steve has gone above and beyond. He's called me on the phone and I think, okay, he needs something, but no, he's actually calling just to check and see how I'm doing and how I'm managing the stresses of the job. That's fantastic. Yeah, that goes a long way. And it's genuine, and I really appreciate it. I'm not just a part of the police department. I live here in Salinas. I'm one of his constituents, and I've called him on occasion for things, including the time I wanted speed bumps on my street, and he told me no. And it was, you know, we need proof that there's traffic issues, and I'm like, I mean, so, but he's always looking out for the best interests of the community. We're making jokes about Steve being a politician. He's a good man, a good family man, and a man of God, and I really appreciate all the support for the police department and for me personally. Thank you, Steve.
Steve, when you took your seat on the City Council, the Salinas Fire Department was staffed by about 82 folks, running about 6,000 calls a year. Fast forward throughout your tenure, you were a staunch supporter of the fire department and increasing staffing. As you leave your service, the Salinas Fire Department is now staffed, it will be staffed by over 120 people. More calls, mind you, but it's through that sort of support that really it pays dividends to everybody as a citizen of Salinas. But as everyone said here today, Steve, is you are Salinas, and the fire department appreciates everything that you've done for us and for your citizens here. Thank you very, very much.
Well, I didn't know there'd be this many people, so I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. I just want to start by saying it works. Our city works. Our city works hard, and it does the best job of any city in the county. And I would say our form of government is the most effective form of government in the world. Just in case anybody needed a reminder, because too often we're caught up on some app, we're on some thread, and there's people just using the city, the county, their neighbor, their spouse, who knows what, to just punch on. So it works. Our county, our state, our federal government. Do not lose faith in that. We disagree, and we can focus on what's wrong, or we can focus on what's right. And I'd like to say I'm here to continue to focus on what's right. You know, a mentor of mine, a year or so ago, asked the question, why are you doing what you do? What are you doing and what for? We need to ask ourselves that question. I was asked that question about a year ago. And I've been asked that question a few times by my dad when we go on our travel, by friends, some of which in this room have said, why are you doing and what for? And that led me to believe more than ever that thanks to God and putting God central, my wife, my kids, and my community are important in that order. My wife is amazing. Not only has she done a terrific job raising my kids, but she's done an even better job raising me. Her in this moment because there's that sacrifice. I love her dearly. And flowers don't do enough because I keep bringing flowers to her office and they make it for a while. These will make it for a while, and it just means that renewal, that love, that consistent affirmation is important. So, sweetheart, I love you, and I just want to say thank you. And ultimately, my wife and my kids are what matter most. That's my most important discipleship. So I love you, sweetheart. There's a great story in the Bible, the parable of the talents. There's this wealthy man. He empowers, some of his servants, right? And some of them do well. They go out, they double or better what they were given. And then there's the guy that buried what he was given and came back and didn't do a thing. And I guess I'd like to be that good and faithful servant. What have I done with what I've been given? How have I been able to impact others? And I hope that if nothing else, folks leave here today thinking, gosh, it does work. Our city is all right. It's not about the potholes. It's not about what's wrong. It's about what's right. Especially our staff. The men and women in blue and black, but also public works, also admin, also HR, also planning, also finance. I mean, the team that's here, they're hardworking and they have our best interests in mind. So, I guess just in closing this piece of it, I want to thank everybody for coming. There's a little banner outside. Please sign it. I'm going to hang it up in the garage. You'll be with me for the rest of my life. Just write something encouraging if you're up for it. There's also kid approved. There's also a little booklet, and there's some cutting boards out there, and you can take that a lot of different ways. Given that I'm on the chopping block, so I have it till Friday. And to the agencies, to the staff, to Jim, Pia, our city manager, our city attorney, Chris Callahan, who was here and is here someplace, to former council members, current council members, the many, 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 many partners in so many events, whether it be Food and Wine, or Adopt a Tree, or the Los Olivos Riker Neighborhood Association, or the Planning Commission. You just have to look around and it's all good. So let's just leave on a higher point than when we came. And remember, it's working. It really is. Encourage others, and let's make something of what we've been given. So with that, thank you.
So I'm Jim Pia, the interim city manager. I've worked with Steve since he arrived after he was elected in 2010. And he is, you've heard it today, phenomenal energy. Yes, you are, Steve. He worked well with all the staff. He encouraged staff. And so I thank him for his 14 years of service to the city, to the residents, to his colleagues, to the staff and the director team. He's been a good force to have. And so I thank him, and I thank you, Steve.
Steve is the best council person we've ever had. He's dedicated, he's a pillar of the community, always keeps everybody laughing, has a smile on his face. He's always been a dear friend to me. I helped him get elected on the Hartnell board when he first started in politics, so I've known him for a really long time. We've been friends for a really long time, and the city does not know what they're going to miss. He's going to be very, very missed on this council, I can guarantee you.
Hi, this is Tom McShane. I'm Steve's dad. I'm very, very happy to be here today. I'm very proud of Steve and his accomplishments, and he has a wonderful family and a wonderful community. He loves Salinas, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of different good things coming up with Steve.
City Councilman Steve McShane, I just want to say on behalf of 14 years with the City of Salinas, it's been an honor. I'm glad I could leave things in better shape when I found them. And to anybody that showed up and is here to just say thanks, I just want to say thank you as well. Too often we focus on what's wrong rather than what's right, and there's terrific things going on in Salinas. Its best days are ahead. So here's to the future and gratitude. Thank you.